Three flat midfielders did the trick. If I didn't know better, I would've thought Carrick went and Rangnick. Ronaldo on bench cause he don't press and of course he ain't quick. But I was surprised when I saw Bruno starting when his form's dipped. What? Three flat midfielders did the trick. If I didn't know better, I would've thought Carrick went and Rangnick. Ronaldo on bench cause he don't press and of course he ain't quick. But I was surprised when I saw Bruno starting when his form's dipped. What? Yo, it's the OT99 Banter room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It's your boy Firms, and today I'm joined with Edwin and NK, and we are going to talk about the matter at hand, which is Manchester United versus Chelsea. Look, the game ended 1-1. Manchester United could have done a smash and grab. I feel like the first half we got battered. Second half we came into it. There's more of the patterns that we've seen in last season. But you know what? I feel like we were hard done by, because if it wasn't for Wan-Bissaka's little mistimed tackle, I don't know, his moment of madness, I feel like we would have been walking away with 3 points. Although, though, you saw flipping guys like, what's his name? The defender again, Rudiger. He missed an open goal, basically, open chance. But other than that, I feel like Manchester United handled the defense really well. I feel like we shut up shop and we should have got away with a win. But guys, look, let me get your views on today's game, man. What's your thoughts when you saw the lineup? Because when I looked at it, and I thought, you know what, this is kind of different. Like, it's not your usual. I know certain big guns weren't, playing for various reasons, like injuries and stuff. But I was just like, raw, like Carrick actually done something different that I ain't seen in a long time. So what was your thoughts, Edwin, on that lineup? When you saw it, was you confident? Was you worried that CR7 wasn't starting or on the bench? Like, what was your thoughts?
Just another issue with Man United, I think. For me, it was just like, okay, with Man United, we don't have no identity, we don't have no DNA, we just copy everyone else. Like, it reminded me of how Man City set up, where they don't play with a striker, and even Chelsea at the moment, where they don't have a striker, so they'll play like attacking players in the front three. And it's just like, Man United just copy everything. They copied the 3-5-2 when Chelsea decided to do it. They copied this no striker thing. So even before that, like, whether you got the result, no, but he was playing on the wing though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he's better on the wing. Yeah, he's a winger. Yeah.
No, but they didn't actually, like, they played Fernandes, they played Bruno in the middle.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, whether we had won or not before that, I was just like, it's just more disappointing. Like, Man United have to, before, back in the day, we had our own style, you know what I mean? Like, now we're adopting, we don't have a style that we play, so we just copy what is working for everyone else. And it doesn't make sense. Like, we need one formation that we stick it to and let the players play in it, win or lose, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, under Fergie, we had one formation. Whether we win or lose, we'll play that. Not, we'll play 3-5-2 one day, we'll play 4-3-3 here, we'll do this. Like, I think it's just, yeah. But for the formation, I just wasn't, to be honest, after seeing that, I just didn't really care, to be honest. So it's like, again, just adopting different people's tactics.
So do you feel like that change, I'll get onto you, NK, in a sec here, but do you feel that change here was a tactical thing, or do you think it was like because we're playing Chelsea and you know how Chelsea's form has been, or do you feel like it's still us still trying to understand our identity and still not understanding sort of what our best team is?
You know what it is? It had to be a tactical thing, right? Because they wanted to park the bus in the middle, so they played three, right? Matic, Fred, and McTominay, right? Then they played Bruno up front, and I think they played Bruno up front because, number one, he hasn't been scoring a lot, and he loses the ball a lot as well. So they're probably like, if we stick him up front, they want to play him, isn't it? They want Bruno on the pitch. If we play him in this position, he won't be like dropping deep and spraying the balls and stuff like that. So I think the formation was set up for a draw with the likelihood of nicking a win or a point.
I say that. I think that as well. When you look at that midfield, you can only help but think that as well. Like, we weren't trying to lose.
They put that midfield in, I think, to protect the defense, because they said Lindehoff and Bayer have only played like 8 times together, right? So I think that, and they'd be loving Maguire, so they'd be thinking, if Maguire's not playing, they're gonna struggle. So they probably put that formation. But it's interesting, why haven't they never played that formation with Maguire? And he's probably struggled the most out of all the central defenders. So I think it was set up to park the bus to have like a structure and then potentially like nick a point.
Fair juice, fair point. Look, NK, the settings that you're in is real Thanksgiving-ish. I see man's watch glistening. I see man with a fresh shape up with a turtleneck. Fam, you ain't in the same level. You ain't in it, bro. You know what's happening over here, bro? Snow, bro. Snow.
Well, I've been seeing that Tottenham game got cancelled, bro. Thank God I ain't there, mate.
Bro, the weather here is harsh. But look, what was your thoughts, though, NK, when you saw that lineup and you saw Ronaldo benched? Was you thinking, what is Carrick on? Or are you thinking, you know, I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing with the lineup and sort of the tactical thing? What was your thoughts?
You know what do you call it? I thought Carrick was just like 20 minutes more, and then I was gonna say give him 5-year contract, mate. Carrick got a will, mate. I was saying it. Carrick got a will, mate. Like give him 5-year contract. Let him sign now.
Bro, you need to be banned, bro. You need to be banned.
Honestly, I got his idea why he dropped Ronaldo, because the whole kind of like on the first half, I felt like if we were gonna defend it, try to keep ourselves in the game, and maybe if we hit them on the break here, then we do it. But after watching the game, I think he got dropping Ronaldo wrong. Personally, I think he should have played Ronaldo instead of Rashford, because Rashford was more or less today playing more like how Ronaldo would play anyway, because he wasn't really pressing that much. And when we kind of like use him as the focal point when we were attacking too, he wasn't able to kind of like hold the ball or do too much on the ball to kind of like get other people inside. I feel like if Ronaldo was, some of the chances that was going towards where Rashford was, if Ronaldo was there, maybe he would have been able to like hold on the ball and just get a lot of people more into the way. Because let's face it, first out, yes, Chelsea kind of like got a bit of chances, but it wasn't too much chances. We hardly created any chances first half.
Yeah.
We hardly created any chances.
Bro, I think towards the end of the first half is when I think we had like a goal attempt or something. I think we came alive towards the end, right at the end of the first half, and then obviously second half.
Yeah, right at the end. Because like, I mean, if you look at the whole game in context anyways, we didn't really start to kind of like get chances until we scored a goal. Also, obviously, you know how that for the last 2 years or so, that's how we always are. If United get a first goal, then, you know, teams are going to attack us, and then that's when we try to do the counter kind of like more back. Honestly, in terms of the lineup, I feel like, I mean, the way he played the three in the middle, I knew straight away the three in the middle, Fred job was going to be like, hey, Fred, protect, Aaron Bissaka, like on there, because Chelsea played like a wing back. So Fred's job was to just make sure the wing back don't have too much freedom, and then McTominay to make sure the other wing back too don't have too much point. And I felt, and then Matic just there was, look, Matic, you're gonna be the guy that if we get a free, you just protect the centre back too. And I feel like the flat free in the middle, they done their job superb. They protected the back, you know.
Although
Matic protected the centre backs, and
though,
the two protected the wings.
Hudson-Odoi was getting a lot of like joy in the first half, though. I wasn't liking it too much.
Yeah, but because I think if you watch the game, yeah, I think McTominay was supposed to be. I don't know if you, from what I was watching, it felt like he was man-marking him in a way. He was man-marking him back. Anytime they were coming, he was the only one, because on Fred's side, yeah, Fred will go towards the wing and then just literally go and help out. But McTominay was more dropping more back, like in between the centre back. So it gave like Haxton more kind of like freedom to kind of like do a bit. And I don't know. And as the game kind of like went on to, it became more narrow. And Chelsea had more kind of like ball. But I think it was more something that they planned to say, you know what, give the ball to them on the wings, but at the end of the day, they still need to come in the box anyway. So we're going to defend narrow, because I think today we defended it more narrow, you know. We're going to defend narrow and more compact in the middle. And it kind of like went though, to be honest with you. They were getting the ball on the wings, but when they got it, their crossing was not good, and then their supply was not good. So you can say the system did work by defending narrow today.
Do you know what I noticed? Go on, Edwin.
You know, I was going to say as well, you know, remember, like, I don't know if NK saw this, remember we were talking about our defending, about how, like, the problems, like, for someone like even Maguire, right, in our defense is that the defenders are isolated. You know what I mean? So like, if Maguire makes a mistake there, or someone makes a mistake, there's no one there to sweep up. But today, because it was so packed and narrow, like NK saying, even when like Lindelof will make a mistake, or even Bailly, there was people around him to help recover it. Usually, there's no one. There's like when like if someone does a mistake,
or one-on-one.
Yeah, but like now, like I saw Lindelof, he made a mistake, but he was able to cover. You saw Bailly make a mistake, even when I think he let the player like go on the wing, but you know someone was there covering.
Yeah, so I think we had a lot more balance, isn't it? And I feel like we had to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice attackers in certain games to allow that balance in midfield. And do you know what? I looked at that midfield today, and a part of me felt a bit of calmness. Like I looked at it and thought, this is different, but in a positive way. I looked at it and thought in a positive way because against Chelsea,
we need that though. Like that's why I think the position when you look at the team. See, this is the thing. Yeah, there's one person that technically we need him in the team, but if we sacrifice, the balance is better. It's Bruno. Is that position between the midfield and the striker? Do you know that one? The attacking. Because if we played that same midfield and even put Pogba in it, or Van der Beek just like play around with it, there's some it's quite solid in midfield, but to fit Bruno in, they're gonna have to sacrifice having a solid midfield for playing him. So it would be interesting unless they find a way of playing him like on the left hand side or something. I
feel like we didn't feel the negative impact of Bruno making those risky passes and losing out on the ball because we had Scott McTominay, Fred, and Matic. The minute you break up that three and try to do a two-man type thing there, it becomes a little bit more unbalanced. Yeah, so you obviously got to sacrifice an attacker in order to get that midfield balance. But do you know what I mean? You probably need to have Bruno. You won't need to have Bruno there if you had someone that is a ball-playing midfielder that's got that creativity but also can defend. You know, someone like Camavinga that went off to Real Madrid, he's looking at someone that's got all of the attributes and someone that's got all the skill set. He's probably someone that could have fit into this. Or Frank Kessié is really good on the ball as well, passing, or someone like that can fit in that three. Donny van der Beek, I mean, he is tenacious. He does like to get stuck in and there, but whether he helps with the balance, I don't know. But he's definitely helped with the creative thing.
Yeah, but today, for the game plan, the balance was very perfect today because when we didn't have the ball, it was more like we were defending with, let me say, you had the back four, you had a three that was protecting them too, and then you had of course, Sancho today, he was tracking back a lot. I never saw Wan-Bissaka one-on-one the whole game. Anytime there was a defender next to Wan-Bissaka, Sancho was always next to him. And on the left-hand side, anytime Telles had the ball, Fred was always there to kind of like cover up. So today, they had kind of like protection that we were defending.
Fred killed it.
Very good, like in numbers today. It was just there. The only problem with today's game plan, for it to work, I felt that's when today Bruno let the team down. Today, in terms of like the game plan working, because when we got the ball, in terms of like transition to attack, he was the guy that the ball goes to. And I'm starting to think Bruno is the kind of a player that he struggles when you give him instructions. Because today, his instruction was very simple. Play it in the hole as a forward number 9 and link and play. Some of the things today, all he needed to do today was do simple stuff today. If he done a lot of simple stuff today, we win the game today. But he's always just want to be reckless in his play, whether it's his passing. Like there was one ball today that he got. Sancho gave him the ball. All he had to do, Wan-Bissaka made a run. All he had to do was just lay it off to Wan-Bissaka, let the guys go in for a cross, and then he decided to shoot it. And then one chance too. True pass, just hit the true pass, and he overhits it. I don't know, but there's something very off about him.
Fam, I feel like Bruno, obviously, the only difference is he's not getting goals and he's not getting his assists because obviously our whole team's been terrible, yeah? He was usually the one that would be the standout guy that would be getting the goals and assists, but I thought...
But he has been getting assists though. He has been getting assists.
He's been getting it, but not to the level that he was. And I feel like with Bruno, it's just like, he's been doing what he does. I just feel like with Bruno, you would see him make 5 wrong passes and then get one right or something along, or maybe more, and then get one right. And then you're just like... Okay, but in generally speaking, there's a lot of wastage there. There's a lot of wastage. And Manchester United's not a team where we don't play possession style football. We're usually the ones in the team against this. against teams like Chelsea, you're going to be having less of the ball as you would have saw the ball possession. It becomes even a lot more evident when you see guys like Bruno giving away the ball. And then we're just taking up a lot of pressure. So when you've got guys like Bruno on your team that has a high rate of like playing risky, high chances of playing risky balls, giving away the ball, what you need more than anything here is that midfield cover to soak up all of those mistakes. And I think that's where Carrick got it work.
Not necessarily though, because look, we all play. It's like saying when you have a striker that misses a lot of chances, or saying if you have a centre back that or a goalkeeper that cannot save long range shots. So don't let them shoot from long range. No, if they are doing that, it means that you need to drop them. You know, you can be risky all you want, but certain games you don't need to be risky like that. Today was a game where we don't get a lot of the ball, and when you get the ball, you have to make good use of the ball. You don't do that. Like, you know, against Watford, for example, in his own half, he tried a risky pass there, and then that resulted into the penalty. Today, he done the same thing too. In his own half, kind of do a long range pass, where the simple thing is give it to someone there, and then go. He done that, they got the ball, and then they nearly scored. Sometimes it's not about, oh yeah, that is your weakness, and we're always gonna have to do that. Sometimes you need to work on your weakness. And in games like this, where you know that we are gonna have less of the ball, when you get a ball, make good use of the ball. And today, he just did not make good use of the ball at all. And at some point, as a player, you need to understand that it all comes to player kind of like having a knowledge about the thing.
He's definitely got weakness. He's definitely got weaknesses, and there's definitely stuff that he should be working on. And that, what you're saying in terms of just keeping things simple sometimes, is something that Bruno, we've been screaming for a lot. You know, keep it simple. When you keep it simple, you'll be a lot more effective, like how Donny does. But you look at Ronaldo, we're having to adapt to him. We're having to adapt to his style to get the best out of him. Certain players is either you play them and you adapt, or you don't play them. And the problem with Bruno is he's our primary creator. Yes, Sancho's coming into his element. He's getting there. He's getting to his feet. He's getting up to speed, and hopefully he's there doing the dirts as well. But it's just like Bruno, you take away Bruno, creativity is a myth. Do you understand? It's a myth. And yeah, he gives away the ball a lot, but it's just like where you've got no Pogba, it's hard for you to say now, take away Bruno as well from that team and then expect to have any creativity.
I'm not saying take away, but because fans, if we say we're going to have to play to his weakness here, then Manchester United cannot play attacking football ever, because we cannot play. And this has been one of our biggest problems, because if you play attacking football and your fullbacks are bumping forward like most attacking teams do, and you got one guy who is always going to be risky, it means you're going to lose the ball. And anytime you lose the ball, it means teams to hit you on the counter a lot. So if you're today, for example, our fullbacks hardly went forward. You know, that's what it worked best to us, because we were very compact. But when you are chasing games and you want your fullbacks, like any attacking team that want to win the Premiership, that where fullbacks will bump forward, your midfielders will bump forward like that, and you got that one guy that is always gonna lose the ball, it means the team is gonna be facing a lot, counter-attacking a lot. And sadly, we had Pogba that lose the ball, Bruno that lose the ball. And when you do that, all you're gonna be doing from time to time is literally conceding counter-attack upon counter-attack. That's what I'm just saying. He just need to learn literally to say, hey, some games are not just meant for the risky passes. Sometimes just do simple. Look, we talk about risky passes, but sometimes the simplest passes can be the most riskiest one ever, because it can open so much spaces. And you need to learn that side of the game too.
Yeah, you're right. Edwin, what are you saying?
I don't know, like I feel like it's coming full circle for me, because remember I've been screaming about Maguire for time. That's come around, and I've been screaming about Bruno, even though he got the goals and assists. I was just saying, similar to what NK is, he needs to work on the simple things. Like he does the impossible things really well. Like he'll make the outside of the foot pass, but it's just the simple things.
Yeah.
And it's like NK said, you'll be playing, he'll give away the ball, and we just get hit on a counter. And then he'll give away the ball, but then he'll be the first one moaning to people, go here, do this, go there. And it's like, I don't think he takes any accountability for anything he does in the game. Like, you know what I mean? And because of how the team is, and like, there's no real leaders, and no one just tells him, like the only person I saw, Ronaldo was telling him today, like, There's one time where he had the ball, and then he tried to do a slick pass, and Ronaldo was just like pass it over there. You know what I mean? So he needs that because where I think he feels like he's a bit invincible on the pitch. You know what I mean? Like he's indispensable. So he'll keep on doing.
He's the kind of player that when he plays, he needs freedom. And you know what? I think Oli was the perfect manager for Bruno because Oli give a lot of players freedom. When you have a manager that is very structured and just like to get stuff done in a certain way, Bruno will always struggle in it. Imagine having Pep and then Pep style, look, I want you to keep the ball and make the pass when you need to. He's going to struggle in kind of things like that.
You know what? I was about to say that under Pep here, he won't be able to flourish like that because Pep will tell him to do something and like constrain him. And Pep will probably drop him. Look how Pep dropped Grealish. Like
Pep wouldn't go for players like that. I think he would.
Even if he got him, the fact that he gives away the ball, it doesn't play into Man City's type of football, and that's another reason. Like NK said, like we're gonna struggle to play attacking, free-flowing football if the ball's always past the Bruno, and he does that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like don't get me wrong, he will score and he will get the passes, but imagine we're playing free-flowing football and it gets to Bruno and then he wants to do this spectacular when there's a simple pass.
I think Pogba will definitely. I think Pogba in that formation, what we done set up, would have been a better option because I feel like he's still got his vision and his passing range. Pogba, everything is just spot on and he doesn't lose the ball. When he makes his passes, more times it's more effective in my opinion. Finds the right man. Do you know what I mean? He can slot the ball in the eye of a needle, whatever you call it, eye of a needle, and find that pass. But let's move on from this topic though. So guys, when the match started, I kind of saw like a pressing, like I was looking at the team thinking, right, like everyone's chasing down guys. I'm thinking, right, like doubling up. It was like, wait, Ralf Rangnick took over. I thought I was seeing getting pressing. I was thinking,
did you hear about that though? Like I think Gary Neville tweeted about it. He's saying that he doesn't believe looking at the setup of the team and the way they play, he doesn't believe that was Carrick's tactics. He actually believes that was the other managers, like the manager coming in, he actually picked the team the way we should play. And a lot of people are saying that because it's so crazy for like Ronaldo to be dropped and the way we were playing is exactly the way that guy likes to play, 4-3-3, that pressing, and you know what I mean?
Or 4-2-2-2. Yeah, I mean, I looked at it, I was just like, wow, it feels like Ralf Rangnick's here because it's just like you were saying, Carrick done a whole 4-2-3-1 or in 4-2-3-1, and now flipped it to this, and I was trying to understand, was that a tactical thing because it's Chelsea, or would you have, you know what I mean, like what's your setup, anyway, it's going to answer the question next week when, actually he's not going to answer the question because he won't be here, or is he going to be here? Because I heard Ralf Rangnick might have some visa issues even for the Arsenal game, so I'm not 100% sure if he can.
He just might not have always been long.
I heard he's bringing 2 assistant managers as well, man. And that's good, man, because I don't want him to come here and have the same, because the problem is not only Oli was the problem, it's our coaching in general. So there's no point in bringing in a new manager. If you're bringing in a new manager and keeping a coach, you should have just kept Oli. What's the point? He needs to bring his own stamp. But then the problem is like for the players, they're gonna have 6-7 months with one type of football. Then the summer's come, and it's gonna be like, if we get a new manager, there's a whole new staff they have to get accustomed to. If
Carrick is taking orders now, and like I said, that looked like that was different to me seeing that today, and I don't know if it just looked different. It looked like we were more. First half was a poor performance, but in the beginning we just looked a lot more aggressive, energetic, getting around the pitch. I mean, I looked at Fred. Fred has been playing at his best over the last couple of games, and this is the Fred that I like to see.
He should have scored.
Yeah, but you know what? Today pressing, I don't think it is anything different. Man United have pressed before. Anytime we have beat City, we always used to press them. The only problem that we were pressing this season was that this season we were making our centre backs press, and that was the biggest issue. Today, if you saw the press, it was the strikers and the midfielders that was pressing. Occasionally, the fullback goes. But you never saw the centre back pressing. Maybe I think sometimes everybody kind of like follow the guy a bit there, but he got pace, so he can recover like that. Most of the time when you see us pressing, Aaron Bissaka will be pressing so much higher the pick, and then he would draw like Maguire with him, and just a little bit, he will just do that. We've always been pressing, but when we press today, if you watch today's game, we had more men in the midfield compared to how before we will have more players in attack. Today, we had literally 3 midfielders there: Matic, Fred, and McTominay. When was the last time you saw them 3 play in the same team together? Hardly saw that.
I don't think so.
Right. And what these two have is what they call it. What Fred and McTominay, what Fred and McTominay have in common is that they are workaholics. You know, these guys will run. They will run and cover a lot of the pitch in there. And then they have the benefit of having a Matic there who is very good in interception. So today, in terms of like pressing, it helped. Maybe the manager, the interior manager, Ralf, had a bit of like picking that kind of a team. But personally, I feel like it was something that Carrick have always played. In my honest opinion, if Maguire was fit, he would have played the 3 at the back today. But because he didn't have it, he wanted to make it as hard as possible for Chelsea to break it down, and that's how he kind of like went for that formation. But Man United have been pressing like that before.
That falls nicely into my point. So I looked at the team here, and I noticed that obviously Maguire he's obviously injured. You've got suspended. Sorry, Cavani's injured. Who else is injured? Pogba. He's got his injury. He's off like long term or whatever like that. There's a few guys that is either suspended or injured. Do you know what I mean? Luke Shaw
was injured too.
Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking, I see Carrick bench Ronaldo, and I was thinking, good on you. Not like I like seeing Ronaldo being benched because he's certified goal scorer, but it's just like, it's okay. Like you was talking about with Bruno. If it works for the team, it's a team game at the end of the day. If you know that this is a team that is the best chance to get a result against a certain team, then you do what you have to do. You know what I mean? But I looked at this team thinking, if Pogba was fit, would Carrick have played a 3-man midfield of Fred, Matic, and Scott McTominay? Or would he have succumbed to pressure and tried to fit these guys in? Do you know what I mean? Like, what would he have done? If Luke Shaw was fit, would he have looked at Luke Shaw saying, your form's been a bit trash, let me start Tellers, if it wasn't for his injury?
Do you know what? Because of the way we played, right?
Same with Maguire, with the whole suspension.
And there wasn't like super like bombing down the wings. Pogba could have actually played on the left. You know how like he was sometimes gets played in Rashford position. He could actually play on the left and drop more centrally, or do you know what I mean? Like,
but it wouldn't have helped. You know what? Today,
the counter would have been mad.
It wouldn't have helped because for the counter attack, he needed pace out from today. That's why Ronaldo didn't start today. He knew today he was going to make it hard for Chelsea to break us down, which is what historically Man United do in the big games, and then we hit on the counter attack. But for some reason this season, Oli kind of like dished that because he felt like we had Rafael Varane, so he wanted to play like highline. Since Oli came, we have, you know, what if you go watch us play Chelsea, we have been unbeaten against Chelsea for a very, very long time. Last season, we played, I think, 2 goalless draws with them last season. We got a draw, I think, last season against Lampard first game, and then the second game was against Tuchel 2. It was 0-0 too. So anytime we go there, we always set up this way. Go watch the lineup last season too. Same thing too. We went there, we set up ourselves like very deep, and then we went for the draw, hoping for the counter. Same thing today, Carrick down today too. Go there, set up hard. And I feel like this season against City, we should have done that. Against Liverpool, we should have done that. I don't know why we feel like we can go toe-to-toe with this guy, because we don't have the good coaching set up to go toe-to-toe. So anytime you want to beat these guys, you always have to set up deep and then try to hit them on a counter. And that is one of our biggest strengths. And Oli, and obviously Carrick and Nenelos are the same kind of thing anyway. So under those managers, our biggest strength was sit deep and hit on the counter. And today that was the same game plan. And if it wasn't for the penalty.
It's hard to hit Chelsea on the counter though, because defensively, the goal we scored where Jorginho got caught slipping there. But apart from that, it's really hard to, the way Chelsea are set up.
Organised.
Yeah, it's hard to hit them on the counter.
Oh no! Today we had it. Today, as I said, today we had so many opportunities to hit them on the counter. If it wasn't for the passing of Bruno, we would have had them because the finish. Their full backs was bumping forward most of the time, and one thing about that is
I love that counter attack that Sancho did. When they were running, 2-on-1, I thought, wow, like 2 guys running, they nicked the ball through Jorginho. I was sitting there thinking, I've never seen, like, when's the last time you've seen that where you've got 2 Manchester United guys bobbing at a defense with no other defender in sight?
But for the goal, I have to give credit to Sancho so much, because if
he's hungry.
Rashford was offside,
Oh, was he?
Bro, Rashford was offside. He, when they go to the goalkeeper, he was ahead of the ball. So if he did square it to him, that would have been offside. So for him, because I saw the replay after the game, and then I saw it, and then I saw that he was ahead of the ball. So if we square it, he just done this thing where
done that dummy in it,
you know
pretending
what,
like
for
it
a
was
player that confidence was low and he hasn't scored, any of them would have just scored that, just to be secure about that. But for him to just score that goal, it was just good. Because Rashford too, he should have just fought. Stay behind the ball. You know what, as I said to you, it was a beautiful, I don't know. Chelsea were suspect today. They were watching them today, yeah. I don't see what that special deal about they were going to win the league about, because
do you know what?
And I don't know, maybe when, huh?
I think they were tired, because if you do watch it now, if you watch a Champions League game against Juventus, that's not the same team. Bro, they
I don't think it was. I think it was complacency, because United have been playing so bad today. They feel like, you know what, it is our turn to also kind of like enjoy what everybody wants. Well, it was literally, you know, it's like, you know, when there's a on the block and everybody's beating it, they're like, you know, it's our turn to beat this thing too, bro. That was what it was today.
PG, fam.
Bro, it was what it was today, bro.
Yo, so look, okay. look. Fam, for me, yeah, I looked at, you know what? Carrick got it. I think Carrick got it spot on today. Carrick's last couple of games, right? I've been doubting and I'm still doubting. But definitely what I can see is a bit of a lift in the team slightly from where they were before. I can see a bit more organisation. I can see a team that is a bit more resilient that they were in the past. Like, you know, before they were just... It's anyone's game, you know what I mean? They're putting goals in the net for fun, do you know what I mean? How many goals did we concede in the last few games? 4-1 against Watford, 2 against City, how many against flipping Liverpool? Like, it was, and they could have scored more. But I see us being a little bit more resilient. So I must give props to Carrick in his short space of time. But check out these stats though. So Chelsea had 66% possession against Man United's 34. That's not too uncommon with big teams. But goal attempts, 24. Chelsea had 24 goal attempts. Manchester United had 3. Shots on goal, Chelsea had 6. Manchester United had 2. So even though we had 3 goal attempts, we had 2 that was on goal, which shows clinicalness of there, but we ain't doing enough. Whereas Chelsea only had 6 out of the 24 goal attempts. Then shots off goal, Chelsea had 10. Manchester United had 1. Blocked shots, Chelsea had 8. Man United had none. And then I think those are some of the key ones. Corners, Chelsea had 15. We had 2. Do you know what I mean? What else is there? Tackles, we had 21. They had 16. Attacks, they had 120. We had 81. And dangerous attacks, they had 88. We had 26. But it just goes to show that Chelsea were smothering us. And Manchester United's game plan, like we said earlier, was, you know what? Shut up shop, trying to hit them on a counter, because all the stats show that. All the stats show that they had how many more completed passes more than us? I think they had 500 completed passes. We had 235 completed passes. And overall, yeah, they done total passes is 581. And they had 500 completed passes. So look, they were all over us, you know what I mean? And I feel like Manchester United had obviously went into that game with a game plan. Do not lose. Try and nick a draw at best. I mean, try and draw at worst, but nick a win at best. You get me, with the pace that you've got from Rashford and Sancho. And do you know what? We talked about Ronaldo, and I feel like it was a good decision to start Rashford because of his blistering pace. I feel like us playing Ronaldo in that type of game, for a counter-attacking perspective, Ronaldo has always got the ability to score. Do you know what I mean? You put him on the pitch, he's always got the ability. But in that type of game, Rashford and Sancho was the right picks. I feel that Sancho, his work ethic is amazing. I'm really loving that, because when I see Sancho's work ethic, protecting the winger, trekking back, he's not as good as tackling, but his work ethic's there. I feel like it's something that Ralf Rangnick can work with. You know what I mean? He's already given open praise about Sancho. And when he's seeing that, seeing the work ethic from Sancho and seeing the work ethic from Fred, do you know what I mean? I think he's something that he can work with, you know what I mean? You've got Scott McTominay, he's always got energy for days. I think it's something that Ralf Rangnick is looking at and thinking, I can work with this. I can build on what I'm seeing now and hopefully, fingers crossed, get us performing well, get us being consistent and bagging points, because that's what Manchester United need to be doing. That's where we need to be, is being at that Champions League spots, competing for the title. Do you know what I mean? Because we've got a team. We've got a team for it. Like, you're looking at Carrick, who has been a coach in and around the team for a while, but he hasn't led any team. He stepped in a couple of games. He got a result against Villarreal, and he got I would say a result against Chelsea, because we didn't even expect to be getting anything out of this game. And it just goes to show that Manchester United, there is a lot of potential in this team. There's a lot of potential in this team. And I know we're all worried about the manager coming in, like, who's it going to be? I know we've had chats about Pochettino offline and him not being good enough, but I really do feel like you just get a guy that knows what he's doing. He doesn't have to be the greatest. I feel like we'll have the ability merged with this team to take the scalps of a lot of managers' heads, because I've seen Oli do it with his counter-attacking football. I've seen Carrick now do it, where he's taking points of Chelsea, the best team in the world right about now. And technically, he has no right. He has no right to be doing it, but he's doing it. So what's you guys' thoughts, man, on Ralf Rangnick? Because we ain't spoken about Ralf Rangnick since the news came out. Do you think Ralf Rangnick has a team that he can work with? And do you feel like, what's your expectations with Ralf Rangnick anyway? What do you think, like, your season's ending predictions will be like now that we're getting a new manager in charge? NK, I'm seeing you're looking like... Go on, Edwin. You want to say something? Go on, Edwin.
Yeah, I feel it was like the conversation me and you had offline, right? It's hard to say, because this is the example I gave you. If I told you Tuchel was going to come in to that Chelsea team when the Chelsea was struggling, was going to put them in a better position and win the Champions League, if I told you that was going to happen, you'll probably be like, it's very unlikely, right? So it's very hard to say what he's capable of until he gets there. So, everyone's saying that, okay, he's influenced Tuchel and Klopp, and their type of football works in the Prem. So if he is the originator of the style they've adopted, then technically he should. But at the same time, is whether those players can adapt to that style and it work for them. So I think a new manager coming in that's is good, and if it is him, he looks like he truly understands the game. Like, he knows every element from the top to the bottom. Yeah. Tactically, he knows what he's doing. We've done our research. He's adopted a certain style of football, which is the pressing style, and they call him an originator of a certain style. So he understands football. He understands tactics. Yeah. So I feel like if he comes in, we need someone like him that's a bit more mature in stature, even if for the short term. Because as I was saying, I think with Oli, the players respected it. They respected him, but they didn't fear him. Yeah. And I think some of these players need that, because some of these players just running riot. You know what I mean? Just coming, collecting a check and going home. You know what I mean? So good for point. Me, hopefully he changes the team and gets them more disciplined. But the way, it's that article you sent me about the way he sets up his team, he kind of sets them up to be tactically sound. You know what I mean? So I think, look, for what is out there, he is a good addition, but only time will tell, really, isn't it?
Only time will tell. Only time will tell, and that's the thing. I've heard so much. I've read so much good things. I've heard so much good things about him, but quite frankly, I've been watching English football, and I know he's been more on the German side of things, but I haven't heard about him. And NK, I'm going to ask you this year. I'm going to read something to you, and let me hear your thoughts on this year. So Paul Merson was interviewed, about Ralf Rangnick, and Paul Merson had a lot to say. So this is what Paul Merson said, He says, I'm hearing people going how great Ralf Rangnick is, but he's never managed in England. He's never managed one of the top teams in the world. Why is that? Why has no one else come in for him when managers have been up? I hear great things about him. People saying he's going to press and he's hardworking and he's turned lesser teams into real contenders. But that's a lot different getting a Schalke or Hoffenheim to a certain stage. When you're asked to go to one of the biggest clubs in the world and they already have superstars and you've got to make them play, it's all right at Schalke and Hoffenheim because they're going to listen and they want to get there. These United players are there and you have to get them to go again. And then he goes on to say, I think this is going to be difficult. This is going to be a lot harder than what people think. What I'm hearing is like, it's a gimme. He'll come in, and he will like get, off the ground running, whatever. And they're saying, people saying that, Ralf Rangnick are lucky to have Man United, but he's not sure about that. So what are your thoughts to Paul Merson's comments? Because he was speaking a lot of kind of hard truths, There's a lot of reality. Like, this fact is he's never managed a big club as much as Manchester United. He's never managed in England. He's never managed superstars like what we have at this team. And that's some of the fears that I have, to be honest. I'm thinking, like, you see with Poch going to PSG, thinking, this guy ain't getting guys like those guys to run. He ain't getting those guys to be doing any type of hard work. So literally he has to work, with what he's got. Do you know what I mean? But what's your thoughts anyway to what Paul Merson said? What's your response?
That's a Paul Mason, mate. Paul Mason, mate. What does that got to do with someone managing in England before they're gonna be shit, bro? What? Like, you know what? Forget about that. Managers ain't managing the Premiership. They come here. It's just the typical English bullshit that they always say. Oh yeah, this player doesn't know how to run. How Ronaldo kid, they were just doing the same thing. Can he do it again? It's just typical BS, man. Like this. Get the hell out of here, Paul Mason. Man, he gonna be doing that, and then next week he gonna be licking his balls too, but he done well. Forget about what he's saying. Look, we know why we are bringing him in here. We know why we are bringing this guy here.
How can NK's message was like fucking?
He makes my editing long, NK makes my editing long. I swear down, fam.
Bro, it's true though. Look.
That is hilarious.
He's got a Manchester United fan, so he wouldn't understand why we are so excited for him to come here. We're not bringing him here to kind of like win us a trophy straight away. The thing is, as a Man United as a club, we know that we don't have anybody making footballing decisions for us. So, and we know that one thing about him, one thing that he's good at doing is building, like developing teams, putting structures in place for us. So that's what we are just doing. We're not looking at him. That's the reason why they went for him as the interim manager, not as the permanent manager, because they could have given me the word permanent manager if we thought he was that good, Because personally, the thing is, and only me, one thing I'm so excited about him, it's not even the result side of things, because let's face it, Man United got a great team that if you get them playing, they can beat a lot of teams. One thing that I'm more excited about, I think, under Ole, the United players have had too much freedom. I mean, how can you lose to Man City and then give players an option to either go on holiday or to train? How can Cavani be able to go to Uruguay just whenever he wants, just to go have like a rehabilitation in Uruguay, not where the club feel like he can go and just do that. The players are getting too much freedom over there. Like Bruno cannot get dropped. Players cannot get dropped whether they play bad or not. And I feel like that is one thing that this guy is going to change, because he comes, he said, look, I want my players to press. And if you see someone not pressing, they're going to get benched. And even if he was manager for us today, after the way Lindelof and Eric Bailly played today against Arsenal, the two of them would have started. And Maguire would not come into the team just because he's a captain. He was going to say, these two play well today. They actually listened to my instructions. And if it wasn't for the penalty, we could have actually went there and actually got a win today. So based on that, I'm going to keep the same lineup. But look, come next week, if Carrick is still in charge, Eric Bailly is going to get dropped off. And then this guy is going to come in. He is going to just start what Man United as a club need. Building as a style of play. Look, as a club, we are always going to lose games. Small teams are going to come and beat us. Today, for example, everybody's going to say, oh yeah, Carrick done well today. I say Carrick done poor today. Because we went in there today playing like a relegation teams, pack the bars to nick that. I want Man United to go there, and even if we get a draw, we went toe-to-toe with them. How, if Liverpool went there to get a draw, you would have known that it would have been toe-to-toe. They would be playing each other. They will not go there and pack the bus and get, trying to nick a draw. City will not go there. So I want my team to go there and just do that. So even if we're going to lose the way you play. So me, as I said to you, that's one thing I'm looking forward to him coming. He's going to buy the right players, not because if he come, look, don't be surprised if he come in and Man United are no longer linked to what do you call it, Declan Rice no more, just because he's English and he's a DM. Because he's going to come and say, look, I want to press, and he's not the kind of player that will press for me, so I'm going to get a player that fits into my system. And that's what we need. Liverpool was the same thing. Klopp went to go buy Salah, not because he was good, because at that time at AS Roma, he wasn't the best of goal scorers, but he said, like, look, and Mane, they are guys that will press and have energy, and I need that in my team. And that is what he wants to go do. So as an interim guy, we're not talking about him coming to win the Champions League. Yes, that's the long-term goal, but we want someone to come and lay the foundation. And that's what he's going to do. So tell Paul Mason to go do his research that Man United, we want a foundation, not to fucking win the Premiership this season. So he need to go there and just do whatever he does, bro. Because we as a club, we want to build something. Only came here, build a team for 3 years, and after 3 years here, it was shambles, bro. After 3 years, there was no style of play. We didn't even know. You could not tell me that Oli knew what kind of players he could go and buy to make the team better. He didn't know because he didn't have no style of play. So he didn't know whether to go get a guy who can pass, a guy who want to run. He just didn't know. So we need someone who is going to come, build a style of play and say, if we are playing possession, then it's like, hey, I need a guy that can pass and that can control possession. No, I need a Bruno because Bruno can score goals. No, I need a guy that will pass the ball well and then we'll go and bring that guy. And that's what he's going to bring. That's what we are always excited by.
You know what? You know what's exciting? It's like, even if he doesn't win a trophy or, even get top 4, I feel because of his stature, what he does is like, he's more like a director level, like a CEO type level. He's the person that makes those footballing decisions. Like you said, I feel like Man United's in a situation where getting that manager, the next manager, is very crucial. And I hope that he has input and impetus into that decision making. Do you know what I mean?
He's going to be in an advisory role, isn't it? So
exactly.
They probably told him like, look, get the team in the best role, and he'll probably do is do the tactics and play the team and get them in a position like NK saying can actually have a hand in getting a manager that can continue the work he's done.
Exactly. And I hope that his backroom staff can also stay on as well, because what we need is more professional guys that know what they're doing rather than these guys, the class of 99 taking over our flipping.
I told you, I don't want to see Fletcher and them, man. Like, okay, fair enough, you play for the team, but go and get experience somewhere else, then come back.
Exactly.
And you know what?
And we may need him to help. We may need Ralf Rangnick in the future to potentially help someone like a Poch, or help, or give him some sort of support, or give someone like a Ten Hag or whatever.
You see, when they asked Klopp about him, Klopp was just like, the only bad thing now is that Man United got a good manager.
Yeah, but he would say that though. He would say that. I don't trust him.
But he's been influenced by that guy, innit? Like, he has to pay his respects because his football and Tuchel's football is influenced by the style that guy brought in years back.
The Leeds manager, he's influential for a lot of these guys. You understand? But at the same time,
even for Pochettino, innit? Pochettino was like,
them man, he's been influential. This is how I look at it. Like the Leeds manager's influential. You look at who else is there? Who else is getting? There was someone else that was in my mind. But anyway, like these guys are gonna look up to man and say, he's a legend. These managers stick together. They're never gonna be like say anything negatively. It's just when I was listening to Paul Manson, what he was saying, I was thinking like, raw, like no one else has actually gone in for him. Like why?
No, but and you know what? And as I said to you, that's true because what he does is he's a kind of guy that when he comes there, he needs a total control. He needs a total control to build something that he needs to do. And as I'm telling you, Manchester United team right now, you will see the benefit of what he's gonna do in 2-3 years time. For the first time, look, don't be like going forward with this guy here. Next time, Man United will sign guys that we as a club we would not even have heard of them before. I read this.
How many guys did he bring through? How many guys did he bring through? Was you about to say that about he brought in like he identified so many stars?
But I'm just saying, like today I read something about before Man United bought Aaron Bissaka. We looked at 800 right backs just so we can buy the same right back that we knew about. Like what he's gonna do is he's gonna bring guys that we as as players, we haven't even heard of. But they will come and they will do their job because they will be the right person to do that job. And I'm sorry to say, when he come here, look, you might not see nothing between now to the end of the season, but I still feel like he's still going to be confident. I'm still confident he will still get a top 4 because the fixtures, as I said, we got enough quality that if they actually work a bit harder and have keep their shape, we should beat a lot of the teams anyway. So top 4, I see us getting top 4. FA Cup Champions League, maybe just not yet because I feel like the way he's going to make us run and press, the players eventually will run out of legs. So I don't even care about that just this season. I care about next season, When he come, he start getting them press. The next manager that's going to come, whether it's Poch, Tank, or Zidane, they will want a pressing team. And these players will have a knowledge about how to press, They will be able to say, okay, this guy is not good with the pressing, so let him go up. Let me go bring energy guys in. Liverpool done the same thing too when they bought Mane. Mane will not be a player Man United would have signed ever because he didn't have the superstar thing with him. He was
linked to him though. It was between. I remember that it was between Mane and next who was the other guy that was linked with it? It was between Mane and who else?
Was it Memphis?
No, it wasn't Memphis.
You're talking about when we signed, because Mane was linked to us too.
It was linked with him, and we ended up going for another option, and then Liverpool swooped in and went for Mane.
Yeah, because Liverpool knew how they wanted to play. Yeah. It's like Firmino, for example. Man United ain't gonna buy. Even Keita that they bought, they knew that Robin. They wanted energy, and that's how they went to go get that. United right now, we just buy players because they play good for other teams, so we go and get them.
Yeah, we have
Any manager will not go buy Harry Maguire because Maguire is not what we needed. If you're looking for pace, you're not going to buy a slow guy.
If you got your setup and if you know what you're looking for, like he seems like he knows, then he will be going for specific guys. Like you said, it may be guys that we haven't even heard of. Like he's the same guy that identified Firmino and a bag of other guys. I'm trying to find who else. But there was a few names that I heard Liam mention, and Firmino was one of them that he was actually the guy that put on.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out. Pep like his goalkeepers to play from the back. Yeah. And they go buy him a guy that cannot play from the back. Man, you just gonna know. So in terms of recruitment, style of play, we will have a certain way that we're gonna play. So all we just need to do is just buy the players that suit that style. And look, as I said to you, any manager, once they get the players that they go to play the kind of style of football that they want to play, every manager, every club become good. If Klopp have someone like Pogba in his team, it wouldn't work for Liverpool because Klopp like his midfielders to run around, and putting someone like Pogba in there will not fit into his formation. Certain managers need certain type of players, and if you give them a different type of players, it will not work for them. And that's one thing that we're going to benefit from that. So going forward, we're going to see so much difference with in terms of player recruitment, style of play, the structure, player freedom. They're going to be more disciplined than Man United. And that's what we as a club, we need to strengthen left because we haven't had that kind of discipline level, structure level. We haven't had that because even Mourinho, even though he was good, he didn't have that. LVG, he was good because he started this thing where he apparently when he came there, he wanted the youth team and then the senior team to all play the same style of football. That was the kind of manager he was, to just do that. But he was a bit kind of just his style of play was too slow. They didn't give him the kind of players that he wanted. So it didn't work out too. So this guy, I just hope that they actually give him the players that he wants, or whoever manager that they choose, they give them the player they want. And we're going to be okay from that going on.
Look, this is all going to get started hopefully very soon. We should see, man, in a week or two latest. Ralf Rangnick should be there, standing on the touchlines or sitting in the chairs or whatever he wants to do. I don't know what his style is. And sort of leading this team and hopefully getting us back to where we belong. Look, Edwin, closing words, man. What's your final thoughts, man, before we close out?
I would say that...
Actually, let's change that. Who was your man of the match? Because we haven't mentioned this in a while. And who is your worst performer? Close out on that.
Did they give it to McTominay, right?
I didn't even know. I didn't even. Was it McTominay?
Yeah, they gave it to McTominay. I don't know. I'll probably give it to Sancho, man. You got to give the guy credit, man. He's had a poor run. Like he struggled in the last couple of weeks. He's had a great week. You know, in the space of a week, he scored, or 2 weeks, a week or two. He scored 2 goals. You know what I mean? And he's worked hard. Like, so I'll give it to him. Personally, I don't know if we per se had a bad player. You know, everyone just done their job.
That's a good sign. That is a very good sign.
I feel like everyone done their job. Like, obviously, naturally, that everyone's humans, you know, like they make mistakes and stuff. But because of the structure, and this type of structure will benefit someone like Maguire as well. You know what I mean? Because even if you make mistakes, you want to have the security that your mistakes won't be like exploited. So I think everyone just done their job, you know, to a T. If I was gonna say if I had to pick someone, maybe Bruno, just for the fact of he was captain, didn't really lead. Like, I have to give the same energy I give to Maguire. Like, he didn't really lead by example. As NK was saying, he's given the ball away. Decision making was kind of poor for someone of his experience and the level he's been showing. Like, his decision making was kind of poor, and potentially could have cost us actually getting 3 points overall. So yeah, that's it.
NK?
You know what? Today I think bad performance was between Rashford and Bruno. But Rashford today, I think he was just quiet in the game. He just didn't see a lot of the games. He wasn't really tracking back enough for me. But Bruno was our vocal point. So, and he just, today, all he had to do was keep it simple. I mean, the goal was through like his clearance, led to the goal because he cleared the ball and then they chased after it. And then he got a goal to Sancho did work out today too. So, worst one, I would say Bruno because he should have kept it simple. That's our best players. You know what, today, there was a lot of good performances out today too. Lindelof, apart from the first half where he went down a bit, it was a bit sort of a freaky. He was really good today. De Gea just done what he'd always do, save us 1 or 2 chances too. Eric Bailly too, play good too. Matic had a super game, but today, my man of the match today, it has to be Pastor Fred. Pastor Fred was today. He was good today. You know, his energy. You know, this is what he is in a team for. He's not in a team to be a defensive midfielder where he get a ball. He's just there to intercept and start attack. That's what he does a lot today. He was running around, he was intercepting, and he was even making forward passing too. Very good at that. Look, Ralf is going to love him. Everybody's been saying that. He's going to love him because the way he played, he just does that. The only thing I had with him today was he had a chance where Mendy missed it and gave it to him on the plate, and then he just tried to lob him or whatever he was trying to. He could have won us the game if he made the right pass over there too. But apart from that, I love his energy level today in the team today.
No, you're right. I think Fred has been playing at that level that we know he can play at. You know, we've seen it before. Do you know what I mean? Where we was tutoring him to be, you know, a midfielder of the year, a player of the year, and he's getting back slowly. And I don't know, maybe it's a 3-man midfield that's suiting him in this formation, or, you know, but he's done it in the last couple of games, you know. And I when I see this type of Fred, I want him in a team. I want him. He's one of the first guys in the team sheet. So for that reason, yeah, it's got to be Fred, man. It was certified today. And my worst performed. I mean, I feel like a lot of players did really play well. You know, David De Gea was a close second for me for man of the match because he's always getting us out of pickles, man.
But you see Matic play today. The Matic was really good today too, Matic.
A lot of guys played well today. Do you know what I mean? And looking at this type of lineup, it'll be hard for me to now say, changing the. Do you know what I mean? When you see a performance like that against the best team in the world at the minute, it'll be crazy to change it. Do you know what I mean? It'll be crazy to change it. But like you mentioned, Carrick is one of those guys that's probably going to do that. But it's just, it's mind-boggling to me. But worst performed, do you know what, right? I didn't really see Rashford, you know. I didn't really see him. I know he done that run, you know. I mean, he made a few good runs.
He was just quiet the whole game, man. He had some 1-on-1, 2 on the counter. So he just couldn't dribble. He was just lacking confidence, Rashford, man.
Yeah. He wasn't about like how Sancho was about. And I know that Bruno was making a lot of like misplaced passes and stuff like that. But one thing I know with Bruno is he's always involved. He's always active. And when you've got players like Rashford with all that potential, I want to see him more involved in the game. And when he goes missing, it's just like, you might as well be playing Martial, because Martial does the same thing at this given time. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, we need everyone fully active and contributing in some way, shape or form. And for that reason, I'll probably say that Rashford is the worst performer. I know he's got all the ability and all the talent in the world to be one of the best players at the club and in Europe and in the world. So guys, thanks for joining me. Guys, if you like what you heard...
no, hold on. All right, Arsenal fans, yeah, Thursday night. We coming for you, man, you know.
What, we got them on Thursday, yeah?
Thursday, we coming for you, man. You know, you mans are used to playing Europa League and them mans, but we are coming, bro. Sancho Masterclass, Fred Masterclass. Mate, you're gonna regret thinking only at the wheel. You are gonna regret that, bro. Ralf Masterclass on Thursday night.
Bro, I'm so happy, yeah. You know what, that we've changed this up a bit, because they were licking their lips thinking, rah. Like, yeah, they got Ollie, they're gonna be singing the song, we're having fun and games.
Bro, this is the top 4. They're gonna get top 4. Well, see what Liverpool done to you, yeah? This is gonna be worse than that. We chipping them 7 on Thursday, bro. 7.
What game is it? Is it a league game or?
It's a league game on Thursday, bro. There's game on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, bro.
Okay.
Look, guys. Look, I ain't saying nothing because Arsenal's in good form.
I said something.
Hey. Anyway, NK, if you want any smoke, just go to NK. NK will give it to you.
If Arsenal beat us, I will retire from OT, bro. I will retire. I will retire, bro.
Hey, look, there's the OT 99 Banter room.
Okay, all right, yeah, guys.
See you later. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter at 99 Banter, Instagram at OT99_Banter room, TikTok at OT99 Banter room. All one word. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.